Hello everybody and welcome to my stream. Thank you for joining me this evening. This is my first of my Reaper Miniatures streams. It'll be around about an hour or so is the plan. I'm an old man now, can't stay up too much later than that. Yeah, and I'll be painting Reaper Minis. I will be kind of chatting all things Reaper Mini. And yeah, we'll see hopefully. That will do. Sorry. My computer's jumping things out of me. Always good fun. Right. So, for this evening, I'm going to be working on this Rocky Dragon from Reaper Miniatures. It was from their fourth Kickstarter. And as you can see, I have already done a fair amount of work on this. So you may have seen already that I am painting one miniature every day for all of 2021, hopefully, fingers crossed. So this is my miniature for today, so I have to get it done this evening. Hence, it's already come on a fairly long way. Yes, so I decided to go with blue. It's not a colour of dragon you see all that often, I feel like, and I already have a red one, which I'll show you a little bit later on while a layer of paint is drying. So yeah, this is what we're working on this evening. And as you can see, lots of bits and pieces are fairly done, but I will be doing a little bit more work on his little stomach there, on his scales on the stomachs. Ah, hello everybody. Oh, it even pops up and says raiding with a party of 19. Wow. Hello everybody. Hello, raid. Awesome. Very nice to see you all, and I'm sure you've just been enjoying Michael's stream. I certainly was till a few minutes ago when I popped over here. We've gone from one extreme to the other, gone from the rather large Garistro that Michael was painting to this little Rocky Dragon here, which I've been working on today. I'm sure a lot of you will already know, but I and a few other of Michael's patrons and other people are aiming to paint one mini every day for 2021. And this is my miniature for today, so I need to get him finished, which is why he's already showing a fair amount of progress. But I do have a few more bits and pieces that I want to do on him today. So I'm going to give him some bone colour on his horns. He's got a few horns along his back and on his wings and on his little claws on his toes. So I'm going to be doing that. I also want to do a little bit more work. I think I was just saying as you all arrived. I'm going to be doing some more work on the scales on his stomach, and I'm going to put some work in on the back. Also, I need to sort his eyes out because currently they're just white voids. So a few bits and pieces to do, all of which will be done this evening. Yeah, I know. Who would think it? Who would suggest doing a mini a day? To be fair, I did 3 months, I think, of mini a day last year, and that was really good. But I did burn out a little bit. I think it needed a little bit more planning, really, than I had done in advance of that. So hopefully this time I've done a bit more planning. Kind of, we'll keep ahead of the game a little bit and not get to 10 o'clock at night and think, oh no, I've got to paint a mini today, haven't I? So I'm going to get cracking. So on the stomach of this, I'm keeping it all Reaper today. You know. Oh, thank you, Nathan. That's really helpful. Yes. So he says, remember to remove the raid part in the URL and reload to the viewers count, because that would be really nice. Give me some viewers. So I'm keeping it all Reaper today, and I'm even using Reaper paints. So I'm doing Frost Blue on the stomach. I've got my wet palette out over here, so I've got some that I made earlier. Just kind of watered it down. Wonderful. Yes. Follow the link that was generously provided there, and you can come back in and it will count as viewers for me. Obviously, if you are new here and you haven't been here before, it would be great if you followed my channel. I am still new and still small, so you can't yet subscribe to my channel, but hopefully that will come with time. And obviously, if you wanted to do that eventually, that would be amazing. So at the moment, I'm putting another layer of... I've just forgotten the name of the colour already. Frost Blue. So I'm putting another layer of Frost Blue on the stomach because it's just a little bit patchy at the moment. You can see there. So I'm building that up so that it will not only give me a nice full coat of it, but it also gives me just a little bit of a kind of gradient down the scale as well. Oh, I shouldn't try and look at the screen and I shouldn't try and look at the screen and try and paint, because then I end up going right off track. But yeah, we're in Scotland. In case you didn't realise, I live only about half an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour from Michael Mordor. I live in the province of the Goblin King, so I'm very fortunate that I've been around to see him a few times. Not recently, I hasten to add. I haven't been anywhere recently. But yeah, we're in that part of the world. And those of you who've been in my streams before, I've got a shock for you that I've actually turned the heating on today. So if you've been in those streams, you'll have heard me say in the past, I don't really feel the cold, so I don't turn the heating on, which means that my layers take forever to dry, which is can be a bit of a challenge. But I've got the heating on today, so hopefully things will dry and I won't have to make a fool of myself on a stream, which would be unfortunate. Yeah, so yeah, we're putting that down. Oh dear, you're causing trouble everywhere you go tonight, aren't you? I'm gonna. I'm just gonna. It's quite hard. I don't. Now I know how hard it is for you, Michael. When you see these ridiculous comments coming in, and you have to try and somehow keep painting. Ah dear. It's good of you to challenge me though. It's yeah, keep me on my toes. Oh man. So yeah, this is going on nicely, and then I'll leave that to dry for a little bit. Am I? I can assure you that I've heard much worse than that living in Scotland. People use swear words as like friendly compliments around here. I won't repeat them here, but so you can see that having put some of this frost blue on, it's looking much better on those scales. It's looking a much more even coat, and it is kind of giving me that slight gradient from the top of the scales down to the bottom of the scales. I wonder what colour a blue dragon blushes. That's an interesting question. I feel like this is the kind of question I'm going to regret asking, because chat will come up with all kinds of ridiculous answers. Yeah, it could be purple. I do have some purple here, so if it all goes too badly wrong, I can add some purple on there. But there you go. So that I'm going to leave that for now, and we'll see if that needs another coat on there in a little bit. But I'm also going to put a bit more paint on his back ridges along there. Wait, we're not going for Drown Nipple Pink or whatever the Reaper. I think they actually produced a paint called that recently. I don't have any though, so it can't be blushing that colour. You'll have to think of a different one. Okay, so for the back ridges, we're going for it's another Reaper paint. I'm going for Icy Violet. You can tell how long I've had these because the labels are very faded. Yeah, there's genuinely a paint now that Reaper does called Drown Nipple Pink. Yeah, so Icy Violet. Again, I've got some of that on my wet palette, but actually I think I want it a bit stronger, a bit less watered down than I had it before. So we'll add a little bit in. Get that building up some colour. There we go, perfect. Oh, easier to get the nipple than it was before. I shouldn't be saying things like this, should I? I want to keep this a family-friendly stream. This is not an 18+ stream, so I need to be careful. There we go. I've mixed together some of that. Well, just that wasn't. I wasn't touching any wee willies. Just, oh dear. I'm gonna blush even more at this rate. Oh man. Right, so moving swiftly on from all that, I'm just going to put some more of this Icy Violet just on the high points of these back ridges. Again, just to kind of even out the tone a little bit where it's a little streaky from the first application, but also just to get that colour a little stronger in some of those areas. Just to give the eye a bit more to look at when it's doing that. I'm going to paint the central area of these ridges in bone, like, oh dear, I'm trying not to say bone and horn in the same sentence. You're getting to me, you really are. But yeah, there'll be like a ridge of horns along the back there. But yeah, you can see there, it's just kind of starting to pick out some of those high points with that blue. I know, I know, I'm such an innocent and family-friendly channel normally, and then you lot come along. Deary me. But yeah, we'll get this going on. Once this is done, I'm going to give it a bit of a dry, and then I'll have a look at some of the other things that I've been painting. As I said, this is part of my mini a day effort, so we'll do that. But also, so at the moment, my no comment. At the moment, my patrons are voting on what I'll be painting on this equivalent stream next week. So at the moment, so the plan for this stream really is I'll be doing a lot of the Reaper Challenge League painting on here and kind of talking about that. And currently my patrons are voting on which of the different categories they would like me to paint on next week's stream. So shameless plug, if you fancy backing me on Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/goblinsquire and you can back me from $2 a month. And if you do that, you get to vote in what you get to see on streams, and you get like updates and all sorts of exciting things. I was going to say I can highly recommend it. I mean, I suppose I would really. It would be a bit rubbish if I didn't. But yeah, it would be amazing if you wanted to do that. Anybody? But yeah, we'll be doing throughout the year. I'll be doing the mini every day, and as I say, I'll be doing as many of the Challenge League minis as I can. I won't be able to do all the new ones, I think, because I can't be. I've got so many minis. I can't be buying all the new ones as well. But yeah, I'll be doing all of those things, and that will be on here. I'll be doing YouTube videos. It'll be on Patreon, all of that stuff. But this isn't actually white that I'm putting on now. Oh, and you're going to have to explain that one to me, I'm afraid, Renegade Shank. I'm not entirely sure what that comment is about. But yeah, we'll do that. Alright, so we've got that drying on there now, and you can see it started off quite sharp and bright, but now actually as it dries down, so this is actually, I know it seems really weird, this is this colour that I'm putting on. Thank you, Michael. Really good to see you, and thank you for all your help. I hope you don't fall over in all the snow and ice and everything. So yeah, so this is the colour that I'm using to highlight at the moment. I might go a little bit darker actually as time goes on, because it is good to get that kind of contrast. But as I say, I will be putting in the horns as well, so that will add a bit more contrast. But we'll see how it kind of looks towards the end there. Cool. So I'm going to let those dry because I do need to get in there and do the little horns and bits which are kind of attached to some of those bits I've just been painting. So I thought while I do this, I would show you some of the other minis I've been painting. So first of all, I will show you. So I've actually painted one of these Rockies before. I did a red dragon for that one. So this is the one that I painted before. You can see there that obviously, yeah, the red dragon, and we've got some kind of yellow and some pink going on there. What I wanted to do with these really is kind of not. Thank you. See you soon. Is not to have them look identical, obviously. I've been apart from anything else, one's in red and one's in blue. But I kind of wanted to make them look like they were a set because they come as a set. So have some of the kind of same themes going along. Have some of the different things tied together. So that's kind of why I've chosen the colour scheme that I've gone for. And once I've added in those kind of bone ridges, hopefully that will really bring it together like the other one. I also thought I'd quickly show you. Here's a couple of the other things that I painted on this mini a day challenge. So this is another Reaper This this was otherwise known as the Ice Cream Witch. It was dubbed that on the Discord because before it was painted, it kind of looks like she's holding an ice cream. Hopefully, it's now relatively obvious that it's a fish that she's holding, and so she's a fishmonger. I love these like tentacles coming out of here; they're great. Yeah, so that's another one that I've done. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I want to know about Smurf ice cream. Yeah, so yeah, I think this is a great sculpt. I really love this sculpt, and again, it came in the last Kickstarter. So yeah, that was a perfect one for that. And an older one actually that I did. Um, oh, thank you, very kind. Is so I did this Diva. I feel like if I say diva, it needs to be like Mariah Carey or something. But so this is a Deva, I think, which is a much older uh, Reaper miniature. Um, and I have to be honest, I had some issues. I'm not going to show you too close up on the face because I had some mold line issues running right across the face. But yeah, this is another one which I've done in the last few days. Each of these have been done within the day, so yeah, they've been kind of part of all that. Right, so I'm going to come back to this. This may be optimistic, but given that the heating is on, I'm going to hope that the last one, Dava, yeah, we'll go with Dava, definitely. Okay, so I'm going to put in some of the bone colour. My preferred bone colour is actually, having said it was all Reaper, I clearly lied, is Bone White by Vallejo. I think everyone has kind of their favourite colours. Stop it, Renegade Shank. I'm shaking my paint. That's all that's going on. Yeah, so I think everyone has their own favourites for different things, and this one happens to be my favourite for bone colours. The only issue is it's currently very clogged up at the top, so I tend to get about 3 tons of it coming out onto my palette. Twice in the last couple of weeks, the I've ended up running around the house desperately looking for skeletons or something to paint because I end up with vast amounts of that bone colour lying around. So I've just got some of that. I'll water it down a little bit just to get it flowing a bit better. It'll take a couple of applications to go on, I think, but we'll do that. We'll start down at the toes because there was no other paint going on there in the short term, so we'll put that on. But yeah, as I say, this will take a couple of coats, I think, but you can definitely start to get the idea as it goes on. Yeah, there we are. Yeah, that's all right, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, I've kept it kind of watered down and so that it does flow easier. But that is the kind of trade-off, is that you then need to put the multiples on. Thank you for popping in. It was really good to see you. I really appreciate it. And yeah, you can see my streaming schedule. I've got lots of streams coming up. So if you fancy and are around to pop into any of them, that would be wonderful. I've just got a notification to tell me that it's going to be -1 in Scotland tomorrow. There you are. In case anyone didn't believe me that I was really in Scotland. There you go. So yeah, that's started to pick that out, and it gives a little more variety. I think that's why I like having this, and particularly like all the way along the back. It just gives it that bit more variety because it is a little bit kind of monotone blue. I don't think this camera is doing it any favors really, but yeah, we'll add that. We'll keep going with this as we go along. Yeah, so as I mentioned, seamless transition this is. As I mentioned, I do have other streams which I will be doing. This is my first one of the new year of the first schedule. But Wednesday is my League of Legends stream. I know that's not to everybody's taste, but if it's any draw to anyone, I'm completely rubbish at League of Legends. It's me learning how to play. So if you want to see someone just die repeatedly at League of Legends, it's a great place to come and laugh at me. It's yeah, it's a slow process learning that. But that's my Wednesday stream. Thursday is going to be my kind of focus on small creators stream. I love looking at all the different little small companies that are around. The UK, I think, is particularly good for them, particularly lucky to have so many good ones. So I'm going to be looking at not necessarily a different one every week, but certainly I'll be looking at them. This week I'm going to be painting a mini from Heresy Miniatures, and I'll show you that mini in a minute. Actually, I've got it here. It's half assembled. Just in case you didn't believe me that I was painting these in a day, I haven't even assembled Thursdays yet. So yeah, that'll be a nice one to do on the stream, and because that's earlier in the day, so that's at 2 p.m. UK time, GMT. That means that it will be an earlier stage in the mini, even though I need to finish that in the same day as well. This one is at a much more advanced stage because it's nearly 8:30 in the evening here, and I need to have this done today. But yeah, so Thursday is small creators, and Saturday morning is going to be just a bit kind of free form and random and whatever I feel like chatting about, really. I've already spoken to Geek Curio, Andy from Geek Curio, who is going to come on in a couple of weeks' time and have a chat with me, which will be really nice. It'll be good to talk to him. I know quite a few of you will know him from the Governors of Mordor Discord and other bits and pieces that he does. So yeah, he's going to come on and have a chat, and it'll just be kind of whatever I feel like doing really on the Saturday. I've kind of given myself themes for the other three, and then I'll just kind of probably end up chatting nonsense most of the time. So it must be what 3:21 in the afternoon, right, in the US at the moment. I suppose it depends where you are, right, because it's quite a big difference between East Coast and West Coast. But I lose track. My wife lived in America for some time while we were dating, so I did get quite used to the time difference and figuring out when to make phone calls and things. But it's amazing how quickly knowledge like that fades when you're not using it actively. But yeah, so my Saturday morning stream, which is as I say 10 a.m. UK time, that would be that would be an early morning one for you, won't it? I think it would be a nice chilled out afternoon stream, but you can get up in the middle of the night to watch my streams. I'm sure it's dedication, but what can you do? Yeah, but hopefully the other ones, and obviously all of them will be available for a little while on View on Demand on Twitch, and I'll be doing like highlight videos on YouTube, and that kind of thing. Yeah, I mean I'd be fast asleep at 5 a.m. as well. No worries. It's all good. Some days I feel like being fast asleep at 5 p.m. So yeah, I quite understand that. So, I've realised I'm getting it closer and closer to my face, and you can't see what I'm doing. So you can see that we're getting towards the end of these this back ridge, which I think just the white on there really kind of lifts it a bit from what was starting to look a little bit kind of monotone blue. Although the backy's definitely got a little bit of purple to it, even if the camera is not picking it up very well at the moment. So what else have we got? We've got these horns just on the side of the face here. We'll get them as well. I'm having that issue that I'm sure all of you guys who are mini painters will know very well. Just trying to find an angle where I can get the brush where I want it. It's a bit challenging with some of these horns, but there we are. Right. But yeah, as I say, everything here will probably need a second coat anyway. What I will do, I think, is just go over a slightly smaller area with the second coat, so that there's a bit of a little bit of a kind of blue fade into it. Discord is sending me notifications while I'm on Twitter. No, while I'm on Twitch even. It's confusing me. Okie dokie. Right, there we are. Yeah, it is definitely a big challenge, the time zones when you're in different parts of the world. And I mean, I'm fortunate that it makes following Michael Mordor's stuff really easy for me. As I say, if we were in a different time zone, something weird would be going on because I can drive around to his house in half an hour. But yeah, so many good things going on in the US. It makes it difficult for me to see the actual Reaper official streams and things like that, because they're obviously they're in Texas, aren't they, Denton? So yeah, that makes it challenging for me to be seeing those streams. But there we are. So there we go. There is some horn work put on. I think. Oh no, the tips of the wings. I'm being particularly bad recently. I'll finish doing one colour, put it down, and then come back half an hour later. I'll be like, oh, I've just missed a giant area where I'm meant to be painting. But hopefully we won't get that. Oh, it just popped up with a message. Oh, I see. Okay, it was for a particular word, but fine. Yeah, it was asking me to confirm whether something could be posted in chat. I've never had that before. A day of firsts for me on stream today. Cool. Cool. So there we are. That's the first coat of the bone colour. You can definitely see there's some areas. If it will ever focus for me, you can see some areas where the blue is coming through a bit, but that's not a problem because, as I say, we've got another layer to go onto that. Cool. So again, we shall have a little bit of drying time. I'll have a quick drink. I've had a weird sore throat for like 3 weeks, so I've got a tea with loads and loads of honey in here, so that will hopefully help me out. There we go, much better. Oh, I've got two. I was going to say Texans. I suppose not necessarily Texans by birth or whatever, but people in Texas. That's always good. Okay. Right. So what I'm going to do now, actually, I will show you this mini. So as I say, the Heresy minis will be Thursday's small creator stream. So what I'm going to be painting is this guy who is, I think he's like an ogre kind of guy, but he's in the process of throwing a table or hitting you over the head with a table or something, which I just think is such a great pose. Yeah, he's a mean looking fellow, and yeah, obviously, as I say, I haven't quite finished building him yet. I think I might do that after I started painting, actually, because otherwise that's going to make getting to his cloak thing really difficult. But that's what I'll be painting on my Thursday stream, or at least doing part of that. I'll be streaming again for about an hour or so, something like that, so I won't get all of it done, but that will be on there. The other thing I should say, some of you have taken part in it, I think, but I posted the latest Goblin Inspiration showcase video today. For anyone who doesn't know, Goblin Inspiration is just a kind of it's an initiative. The idea is just to help people get painting, be inspired, that kind of thing. And you just paint a miniature on the theme and post it on Twitter. Hashtag it Goblins. Hashtag it Goblin Inspiration and at me, Goblin_Squire. And then I put everything together into a video and I make a new theme for the next month and it kind of starts again. Thank you very much. And so, yeah, if you check that out, you can see all the minis that were painted last month, many by fellow goblins, which is awesome. I love seeing all them come in. It was the biggest take up of the Goblin Inspiration so far. The most people were painting using the hashtag so far, which is amazing. Yeah, and it was really good. So there, as I say, that's hashtag Goblin Inspiration. It helps me to identify who has actually painted stuff, so I can find it. So yeah, some by people that are very new to painting, which is amazing. And I think one of the things of Goblin Inspiration, as I drop my mini, one of the things of it is it's not meant to be a competition at all. No, there's no judging of who's best, who's worst, what's good, what's bad. It's just a celebration of everyone getting a chance to paint along the on a similar theme or something tying it together. And yeah, I think that's for me that's a really nice kind of community activity, which is great. So yeah, do have a watch of that video. And yeah, it would be amazing if you wanted to take part in it next month. I tell you what, I'll tell you the theme for this month to paint. even though I should make you watch the video. But the theme for this month is just new, N-E-W, new. And I'm kind of thinking you could do a new technique you've never done before, or you could paint a mini by a company you've never painted a mini from before. The mini could just look really shiny and new. Anything really. The whole point is that it gives you different ways to think about the theme, and that way you can kind of go however you want to it. There you go, new company. You could even do it with new brushes or something. Whatever takes your fancy. It's just great to see people painting. Really, that's all it is. But it would be great. Even though I've given you a spoiler for the end where I tell you the theme, it would be great if you wanted to check out that video. Anyway, that would be awesome. Okay, so I'm going to crack on with a little bit more of this. I'm going to wait slightly longer for the bone colours to dry, and I'm actually going to go back in and do the eyes, so you can probably see there's still a little bit of blue just showing through the eye there. So I'm just going to give that another coat, so we've got a nice glossy eye for that. And for eyes, like the background colour of eyes, I'm slightly struggling for my words here. I like to do a slightly off-white, because I find really pure white just kind of it's a little bit too stark. So I'm going to use Pallid Witchflesh in this occasion from Games Workshop, and you can kind of see there it's just very slightly off-white. So we're going to go with that and get some of that on there. And then, eventually I'll have to put in some pupils, and I was thinking about going for more of a snake-like eye, but I definitely think that this kind of eye that I've gone for here is a bit cuter, so I might do that. I haven't decided. I don't have long to decide, because as I say, I need to finish this mini today, but we'll go with it. So we'll get some of this Pallid Witchflesh, slap that onto my wet palette. I'm actually following my own advice for a change, and getting the paint out and adding water to it with a different brush than I'm using to paint, because otherwise you're in danger of really just messing up the bristles of your brush by getting paint drying in the kind of deep in the bristles, and it can just mess up a brush. If the paint gets under the ferrule, which is the like metal bit of the brush, it can do lots of damage to the bristles, so we don't want to do that. So I've used an old and knackered brush. I think I paid about £2 for about 50 of these from Wish, so all I use them for is mixing paints really at this point. So we'll get in there, and we will put some more Pallid Witchflesh on here, and just, as I say, give that a bit more of a smooth finish. The beauty of using a really light coloured paint like Pallid Witchflesh, or even the bone colour really, is if you go over where you want to go, it's really easy to put back the colours that you had in before, particularly with something like a blue. If I was going over it with like a black colour, it can be really hard to then like reinstate the colour that I was doing before. But the light colour makes that nice and simple. I actually have gone slightly over, so I'm going to use another brush to just draw some of that paint out and try and spread that around a little bit. There we go. Cool. So there we go. Very nice. So as I say, the my patrons starting today for this equivalent stream next week are voting on which of the challenges I will be undertaking. If that's what he's doing, he's sitting in it, and I don't think I want to just do a smear, but I appreciate the input. So currently my patrons are voting on which of the categories of the Reaper challenge I'll be painting on this stream next week. When I last checked, I think it was a tie between monsters and the theme word, which is fire or ice. Don't tell anyone, but I think the one that's got me not worried the most, I think the limited palette is not really something I've done very much of before. So I will be giving that a go, and I'll at least show the results on the stream. Whether or not I actually stream the painting of it, I don't know yet. But yeah, that's the one that's giving me most to think about at the moment, I think. So, right, Time for another sip of tea. And we'll go back in and do another layer of the bone. And I think, as I said before, I'm going to focus more on the ends of the horns, just to kind of make sure that they're the strongest colour, and that way there's a slight fade from blue to bone colour. I don't want very much fade. Don't want very much gradient, because it's not like the horns would actually be blue. But the it just kind of on the eye. It's something of painting for tabletop standard. Is what you're actually looking to do is paint something that looks best when it's viewed from, I don't know, what would you say, a couple of feet away, or is that me giving away my Britishness? Half a meter away, let's say. So sometimes, and it's the same thing with eyes, really. I do try and paint eyes on all my miniatures because I think it's good practice. But honestly, when you're painting to tabletop standard, in quite a lot of instances, you're better off just not painting eyes in at all, because you can end up with really eyes which are much too large and bright and just kind of look a bit silly. Or at least that's what I'll tell myself whenever I don't paint any eyes. Cool. So we'll keep going on this one. I do love these sculpts. I love the Rocky Dragon so much. I think it was one that I was kind of on the fence about when the last Kickstarter came around. I was on the fence about whether I should get them or not. Because they're not really the kind of thing I normally do. Those of you who were watching Michael's stream before, when he was saying about generally painting kind of gritty and dirty stuff for dungeons, that's kind of my aesthetic normally as well. So these are definitely a bit of a departure from what I normally like to paint. But yeah, I just think they're such lovely sculpts, and yeah, they're just so cute. You can't not love them, really, can you? Cool. So let's keep going with that. Put that in there. Again, it's about that finding that angle where you can actually hit the surface that you're going for. My camera is really struggling for focus today, isn't it? Maybe I'm just moving my mini about too much. I might have to investigate putting it into fixed focus or something. But yeah, so these big horns on the top are definitely the ones which had the most kind of blue showing through, so they will need the most focus. Yeah. Come for the mini painting, stay for the puns. Please stay for the puns. Yeah, there we are. Cool. So yeah, I think that's definitely coming together. I think some of these will require a little bit more, probably a third coat, but as I say, there is that slight element of time pressure when you're painting one mini every day. There is something of just getting it good enough. But at the same time, everyone wants to be proud of their work, don't they? No one wants to kind of go into it with something. One of the things I learned doing Mini of the Day, as I mentioned before, I did Mini of the Day for about 3 months last year. And one of the things I learned doing that was that some days you just have to post things that you're not that keen on. There were a couple of days during that, fortunately not that many, but there were a couple of days during that first Mini of the Day thing where I just hated what I'd painted. But you have to post it, and often when someone else sees that, they haven't seen all the things that you've been hating about it, and people often are really kind and really nice about it, and you kind of think, oh, actually, maybe it's not as bad as I thought. I mean, obviously, on the really bad days, you just think that they're, telling you that because they want to be nice to you. But yeah, that definitely was a lesson learned from doing it last time. Is all that. Thank you very much. It was really good to see you. Thank you for sticking around. And yeah, I hope to see you again. it is a slightly weird time, as we were saying earlier about time zones and things. It's a slightly weird time because in the UK it's quite late at this point. As I say, we're coming up on 9 o'clock, and people kind of want to be chilling out and relaxing for the evening. And in the US, it's the middle of the afternoon or even early afternoon in some parts of the US. So yeah, it's a bit of a strange time, this one, but hopefully it will work well enough for people, and that people can come back and check in on the progress. And yeah, I'll certainly announce on Twitter and on the Goblins of Mordor Discord what the results of the Patreon poll are. So I know what that will be for next week. But I'm always happy to take feedback, suggestions, things you'd like to see me paint, whether it's particular miniatures, whether it's particular techniques, anything like that. I'm always happy to do that kind of thing. Obviously, let me know in advance. Don't let me know at the beginning of the stream. That's what you want to see. But yeah, I'm always happy to take those kind of suggestions and input. And see where we go from there. Right, I think I'm going to add one more layer of frost blue to the stomach. Just in a few areas. I think it could just do with that last touch of lightening up. But I think I'm pretty pleased with how we're looking at the moment, which is good. It's always good when you're making progress and you're pleased with how things are going. Yeah, move that across there. That's good. Wonderful. Yeah, I'm definitely quite pleased with how this is going, and I do feel like it does have enough of a connection to this other one, so that it does feel like I've just painted my desk. That was pretty smooth. Yeah, I feel like it has enough of a connection to the other one where it does feel like they're from the same set, without kind of feeling like I'm just copying one from the other. I am considering. I haven't decided yet, but I'm considering doing them in kind of more of the chromatic colours. I only have two more because one of the other ones is my wife's. But I'm happy to take suggestions, sensible suggestions preferably, about what colours I should paint those, and I can do them in future streams, or I can just post them up on Twitter and Discord or whatever. So yeah, if you have any requests of that nature, I'm happy to take them. Okay, do we think the eyes are dry? No, the eyes need another green dragon. Okay. Yeah, I can definitely have a think about that. I'll have to dig out. I think I still have. I'm trying to think what the other sculpts are. One is with his hoard of riches. I think I have that one, and I think I have the one who has a dragonfly perched on his tail. I think those are the other two that I have. So yeah, but I could definitely do a green one. I think a red, a blue, a green. I've gone over again. It's alright. Let's get that dried up. There we go. Take that out. Perfect. So I'll give that some more time to dry. Yeah. So what goes with a red dragon, a blue dragon, and a green dragon? That's the question. Let's just, while I'm letting that dry, I'm just going to get something up on my screen. Okay, I wanted to say stream, but that's what I'm doing. Ooh, a tiny baby Tiamat. Yeah, what heads does Tiamat have? That's a good question. I might Google a picture of Tiamat. I should know, really, shouldn't I? Ooh, white. That would be an interesting one. White is a notoriously difficult thing to do well on miniatures. I might have a go at that on not on a stream and see how it goes. Black's another interesting one. Yeah, I think I'd definitely want to have a look at like the monster manual and things like that. Yeah. Oh yeah, 5 chromatic dragons. So yeah, I think it's all about how you do the shadows on the white one, and really all about how you do the highlights on the black one. Because both black and white, if you're not careful, just look very boring because they are hard to highlight and to shadow. But done well, are fantastic. I like to highlight black with quite a light grey. The random reference photo that I always use. I love reference photos for basically everything, whether it's a real thing or something like a dragon. The reference photo that I always use for black is Archer, as in Sterling Archer from the TV series Archer, who is always wearing. He has black hair and he's always wearing either his black turtleneck or his darker black turtleneck, and they have great like highlights on them. So it's a really good place for me to be able to get ideas of how to effectively kind of highlight black, which is, as I say, is something of a challenge really. Speaking of black, I think I'm just going to give this guy phrasing. Are we not doing phrasing anymore? Yeah, so I'm gonna give this guy a black nose. I think I did that on this one, and I think it really kind of helped the face to come together. So yeah, I'm gonna do that now. There we go. There's a black. Lovely. Again, I shall just get some with a little water on my wet palette. Yes, it's probably not a good road to go down. Having said earlier that I didn't want this to be like an 18 plus stream to start talking Archer and things, it's probably not the thing. Oh, a dark purple, yeah, that'd be an interesting. And then you could do like almost black for the highlights. Sorry, for the shadows. Almost black for the highlights. That's not a good idea, is it? Almost black for the shadows, and then use the purple to kind of bring that up. Interesting. It's definitely one that I think I would want to do some prep for and do some thinking about before I did, because obviously it's you can't paint miniatures for any length of time without having to do a bit of black and white, but it's very rare, in my experience at least, it's very rare that you do a whole like large creature in that color, and that's kind of where the challenge comes, because you can do small areas, and if there's not too much variation in color, it's not the end of the world, because it's not the main color that's intended to draw the eye. But yeah, doing a whole, well, I suppose in this case not a huge dragon, is it? As dragons go, these are about as small as you could get. But even so, it's not like it's just one color amongst many. It would be the basic color for the whole miniature. So yeah, definitely something for me to think about. But I like the idea of thinking about those chromatic dragons and maybe doing another one. But yeah, definitely. So I'll do green as my next Rocky. That sounds like a good idea. And then that gives me a bit of time to kind of think about what I want to do with the last one that I've got. So that's a very quick black note. It's very shiny at the moment, but it will matte down as soon as the paint dries. But I just think that's a nice little way of kind of, again, just giving a bit more variety to the face. So that's good. I'm not sure I'm going to get time to finish this on stream, am I? Because I've only got another 10 minutes. Time does fly sometimes when you're doing this. Right, time for another quick drink so that my voice holds out for those last 10 minutes. Turns out if you don't mix your tea with honey very well, you just get honey at the bottom, which is great. Yes, good stuff. Okay, so what have we got left to do on here? We've got the eyes, and I'll probably do. Am I going to do a bit more violet? What do we think? No, right. I'm going to have a go at the eyes, and if I fail spectacularly to do them on stream, I'll just have to do them a bit later on. But I'm going to go for a similar look, I think, to these ones. So that kind of, circular. But obviously, as with when painting any eyes, really, unless you're going for the look of a crazed person, I don't think I can even do it. Opening my eyes so wide, you can see white on both sides. You only want to see part of the pupil. So we'll have a go with that, and we'll see how that goes. Assuming that is dry. Yeah, it looks dry. What's the worst that can happen? He says, after one of my streams just before Christmas, I was doing this. Doing a miniature where I was basically going through and saying, "Oh, I'm sure it's dry." It wasn't even remotely dry, and I made a horrible mess. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's all about styling it out and just claiming it was what you meant to do in the first place. But I have said before that actually one of the things that's quite nice about doing a stream is you can also kind of admit to your mistakes, and it's a way of learning how to correct mistakes as well. Needs a bit more, but it doesn't look too bad to start with. I think needs a bit bigger, and it also just needs filling in a bit more. So we'll get that and see what we think. Oh, it's not very circular at the moment, but what do you think? That doesn't look too bad, does it? Oh, I feel like for doing it live on stream, I'm pretty pleased with that. So pleased, I'm tempted not to do the other way, but that's not a good good idea, is it? So I'll have a go at that one. And then I think what I'll do actually with these is I will simply just do a small dot of white again, just to refer back to this. This I won't be able to do, I think, on stream because it won't dry in time, but just a little dot of white, just as a kind of reflection point of light, really helps it to come together. Because obviously I'm not doing an iris and a pupil. So yeah, we'll crack on and do the other one, and then that's going to be me about done for tonight, isn't it? Wow, good times. Good times. Let's just... I have a bad habit of... I need a little bit more, but that's not too bad. I have a bad habit of holding my breath while I'm doing detail work, which doesn't sound like too bad a habit, but I have asthma, and I also had COVID earlier in the year, which has affected my lung capacity. So I have to be slightly careful when holding my breath, not to hold my breath for too long. Yeah, it still needs rounding out just a little bit. It's funny how some things are actually a little easier to see on the big screen in front of me rather than... and just a tiny bit more down here. Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. I like that. Yeah, I think I've done a purple dragon before. Have I done a purple dragon before? Have I just talked about doing a purple dragon before? I also have a horrible memory. I don't only have bad breathing, I have terrible memory as well. But I definitely like the idea of doing a purple dragon. I'll have a look through actually and see if I've done one before. Purple is one of my favourite colours, so I do love a bit of purple on my miniatures. So yeah, I think you could definitely do a really interesting variations in purple to make a whole dragon look really good. So yeah, maybe that's what I should do. But yeah, we'll see. Definitely green will be the next one. That was the first shout, and it's a really good idea. And then yeah, I know. Tell me about it. At the grand old age of, I can't even remember how old I am. That's how bad it's getting. I think I'm 36. Sounds about right. Yeah, I can't remember anything at all. But yeah, there we go. So yeah, those are the eyes, which I'm pretty pleased with, I would say. I will obviously have to let that fully dry before I put that little dot of white that I was talking about in for the reflection. But overall, I would say for the mini, I am pretty pleased. Yeah, it just in case anyone's been looking on Twitter, I've been tweeting my mini a day for the last every day so far. Yesterday I managed to put it was the 5th, so I got to the 4th of January and I got the date wrong, so it doesn't bode well for when we're like halfway through the year and I'm meant to be doing day 180 something or whatever. If I can't count to 5. Ah, dear. I did maths as part of my degree as well. That's not a good sign, is it? Okie dokie. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that, and obviously that's about as far as I'm going to get, I think, on the stream today. But yeah, I think they make a nice pair, these two. I think they go together nicely. I don't know whether I'll yeah. My brother is it's a my brother's a maths genius. He's got like PhD in maths and all that kind of stuff, and but he always claims that maths isn't about numbers, it's about letters once you get past a certain point. So I'm just going to use that as an excuse. It's going to be fine. But yeah, I think I really like how this one has turned out as a kind of complement to this one. I'm looking forward to getting my full set together at some later point. But yeah, I'm really pleased with that. I don't know whether I'll submit this as one of the categories in the Reaper Challenge League. It kind of depends how I'm going. It feels wrong to categorize this guy as a monster, doesn't it? I mean, look at him. And yeah, I suppose I could actually, I'll tell you what, I could stick some snow on the base and I could say that's ice, couldn't I? Jobs are good. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, there you go. Ice theme, exactly. Oh, he likes to think he's a monster. Maybe I shouldn't be so mean and just let him be a monster. Yeah, there are lots of different options. I think one of the things with doing a mini every day for this year means I'll have lots of opportunities to do these different things. Yeah, I was thinking actually, play a character would be an awesome option for him. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. But plenty of options, plenty of different things. Yeah, we'll see which category my patrons ask me to paint next week. So yeah, that may if they end up saying fire or ice for next week, I guess I won't be using this sort of guy for that. But we'll see how it goes, and we'll kind of go from there. But I think I'm going to wrap up there so that I can get myself some more tea and the like. But it was really good to have you guys with me. Thank you so much for sticking around after Michael's stream, if that's where you were, or for joining me anyway. It's been really great to have the company and have the chat, and I hope you'll be able to join me for some more of my streams coming up. As I say, tomorrow is League of Legends, but then Thursday is small mini companies, and as I say, I'll be looking at that ogre guy from Heresy Minis. Saturday, who knows what it will be. It'll be whatever I feel like doing, but it'll be hopefully a nice chance for a chat and a paint, and I'll definitely have some painting to do because obviously I'll have a mini to paint on that day anyway. So yeah, one way or another, there'll be mini painting involved, there'll be chat involved, and it will hopefully be a fun time. So as I say, thank you so much, and thank you for those of you who followed me on any platform. That's always a nice one. So you can't subscribe to my channel just yet because I'm not an affiliate. But hopefully, fingers crossed, that will happen soon. But you can definitely follow my channel, and the more followers I get, the quicker I'll be able to get to affiliate. So that would be really nice if you would do that. And as I say, if you follow the link from earlier on, you can head over to my YouTube channel. A follow on there would be amazing. Yeah, all those things are really appreciated. For any small creator, all those things are fantastic. So I really do appreciate that. So as I say, I will leave it there, but well, I'll see many of you on the Discord, and if not, hopefully, I will see you at a future stream. Bye now.